He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?" He comes at me with the knife. "Why so serious?" He sticks the blade in my mouth. "Let's put a smile on that face."
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Let's talk about this goddamn movie.
Let's talk about this movie that's so great. This movie's great.
It's a great film.
Hey guys, this movie's really great. It's
a really good film.
Hey, this movie is like really good, and it like won some awards and stuff. It's so great.
Yeah. I'm Tom.
And I'm Jeff.
And
we're great.
We watch Batman.
And we watch Batman.
Batman.
Sometimes it's really great.
And sometimes we watch The Dark Knight.
And sometimes we watch The Dark Knight, and you've been fucking waiting for it.
This is the Batman movie,
it's
right?
the magnum opus of the Batman.
Right. Like
of the Batman. Of the Batman.
Of the Batman. We watch the Batman.
The Batman.
Yeah, this, like, I have seen this movie so many times.
Yep. Yeah.
But watching it again for this podcast, it's been about a year since I watched it recently, and then watching it again, I was like, this movie's pretty good.
It is, but it's funny because this was. How long did it take you to watch this? Yeah, like when you
about
watched
3 hours.
Okay,
like, I only stopped a couple of times to like get up and do minor things.
Mine was 4.5 hours.
Okay, so you took like an afternoon.
It was. I took an evening. It was tough because I was like watching it, and I was stopping to take kind of extensive notes. I have a lot of notes.
Jeff is slipping several pages of notes front and back in a notebook.
And the reason for this though is this movie is so stupidly dense.
It's very dense.
That you're like I'm literally just doing scene changes, and it's every 40 seconds you're getting little scene changes.
Yeah, that's a Nolan thing too.
Yeah.
That Abe and I talked about in a movie club last year for a website that won't be named. But he does. You're right. He does a scene change average of less than a minute,
and it's dizzying.
Yeah,
if you're looking at it from an analytical. If you're just watching a movie, it's cool. If you're watching it from an analytical standpoint, it's fucking exhausting. This was probably, I would say, other than maybe Batman 66, the most exhausted I've been watching one of these movies.
Man, Gotham Knight took more out of me than this one.
Gotham Knight was broken up for me down into little
That's true.
10 to 15 minute chunks so I could pause. This is like...
But it's The Dark Knight, so it's like...
It's great. No. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying that this took a lot out of me.
Sure.
I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have this show if we don't agree that this is
the best one.
I mean, it is. I think I prefer Batman Begins to The Dark Knight, but for not necessarily for weird reasons that we'll discuss.
Sure, I've seen people come out on like Twitter and stuff and be like, Batman Begins is a superior Nolan movie, fight me. And I'm like, you're wrong.
I will next week I'll explain more as to why I feel that way.
I mean, the first and the third one definitely connect. Like this one feels particularly when we have all three movies to watch, like this one feels the most out of place.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have anything to do with the other two movies.
Agreed. There isn't. There's the Scarecrow.
There's the Scarecrow. The part of that is Heath Ledger's death. He was supposed to be in the third one,
which I can't understand how that would have gone. Like maybe The Dark Knight Rises would have been a better movie. I mean, I think realistically, of course he would have. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one.
So I'm going to open with one of my things.
Yeah,
because I can't. Because it starts with the opening scene. Because the opening scene is the robbery.
It does start with the opening scene.
Like
most films.
Yeah, fair enough.
You mean your
Except
list?
Pulp Fiction,
right?
No, the rooftop robbery. Would immediately fall apart. The robbery is indicative of the entire movie's thread of you really have to not think about other people in Gotham in order for this to make sense.
Yeah, 100%. Every single one of the Joker's plans relies on so much coincidence and like people doing an exact thing in an exact moment. It's like he's a wizard.
It's a guy saying he's an agent of chaos that is ignoring chaos theory entirely.
Right. Like there's a line later in the film where he's like, "Do I look like a guy with a plan?" I'm like, "Yes, you have intricate
I have
plans."
that in my notes. It's like, yeah, that's literally all you've been doing.
Yeah, you have like fucking Moriarty-esque plans.
You even planned the pencil bit. Like that was a plan.
You planned this.
Yeah, this is a monologue. The rooftop robbery would immediately be foiled because they are on an office building during a weekday. And they're ziplining in clown outfits.
Shooting a harpoon gun across.
Somebody would see the ziplining.
Urban canyon.
You're looking at a place that would have... It's on the face of hundreds of windows.
Yes.
Must be filled with hundreds of cubicles.
That's the opening shot.
Facing out.
It's swooping into this giant building with 1,000 windows.
And you'd be like, somebody would be like, hey, someone's ziplining to the bank.
To the bank. Let me call, and they're wearing crazy masks. And let me call the police.
And they're taking a while to fuck with whatever's going on up there. So my first thing is that this scene indicates that you have to accept that nobody in Gotham participates in the Dark Knight.
Yes.
Whereas I think in Batman Begins it was very Gotham-y, but in this it's always just...
Well, this movie is a very different Gotham than is in Batman Begins.
Sure, yeah.
Like Christopher Nolan...
It's like Gotham in war.
Sort of.
But like a private war.
Like I think we talked about it in the Batman Begins chunks, but Christopher Nolan sat his crew down and was like, and made them watch Blade Runner. It's like, this is what I want Gotham to look like. Yeah. Gotham looks he completely abandons that in this movie. It looks nothing like that.
It's very daytime. It's very
this movie has a completely different color palette from the first film. Like the first film was like brown and earth tones and stuff. This movie's like blue.
It's a very and they also, but they even do that with the posters.
Yes.
Like even the posters are doing that on purpose. Like it's a very purposeful I guess a cooling of or whatever.
I don't know, but it's interesting that you're right. Most of this movie takes place during the day.
Yeah. And then in the Dark Knight Rises it's almost entirely
during the day.
Almost entirely. But so the whole scene, I mean, it starts with the robbery scene, which introduces us to the Joker, and oddly enough, William Fichtner picking up a
slick cameo,
just a random Chicago. I love, by the way, that this is so obviously Chicago that it hurts.
Chicago's a good stand-in for Gotham, I think.
The accents that they choose too.
Joker's voice is very much Tom Waits by way of Chicago.
The Tom Waits interview. That I trust you've all seen, and if you haven't seen it, just do like Heath Ledger, Tom Waits, and you'll see. You'll find
the
inspiration.
Yes.
But so you have like the robbery. These guys keep like, I gotta kill you now.
I know why they call him the Joker.
Yeah,
they're all cartoon henchmen.
It is. It's very over the top, which is Nolan obviously setting the fact that the Joker is running through a mass amount of employees, and he keeps recruiting them.
He is the opposite of the Scarecrow. He does not support his employees.
No. The Fichtner part where he's like shooting and like like blasting away at everybody and
you
stuff.
And your friends are dead.
It's an interesting choice. It was so weird having him in this when you're like,
I guess they wanted. I think the idea was to have not necessarily a famous person, but like somebody that most people recognize.
That
like,
guy.
Oh, it's that guy.
It's that guy. Yeah.
I guess to illustrate the idea that this is like he's serious, like when he's coming at them with this is a you shouldn't be robbing this bank.
Yeah, it establishes the mob's frustration with what's going on. Their control over they're still kind of holding loose control over the crime in Gotham, and the Joker's like, you suck. There are two parts of this that are the exact same moment, that are two things that I think are the two of the weakest two very weak things. One is the bus. The bus is objectively a weird and almost bad choice because somebody would notice during rush hour traffic a bus literally smashing through.
Yeah, it's shedding brick dust as it comes into
and then when it leaves in front of another bus, somebody in that back bus would be like, hey,
that's not a bus.
One of our buses just left a bank covered in soot and dust.
Yeah.
The other aspect is William Fichtner doesn't spit the grenade out of his mouth.
No, he
leaves it in there.
Yeah.
Why?
No reason.
There's no reason for him to do that. You could
his arms still work.
Yeah, you could just literally because he gets shot in the legs by the Joker.
I think he's shot in the midsection.
Oh, yeah, it seems like maybe the dick.
Maybe he got shot in the dick.
Maybe he got shot in the dick.
Because he gets shot, it takes the wind right out of him.
Yeah,
like, he has
really takes the
left.
wind out of his sails. But
really clips his sails.
But there's no reason for him to keep that grenade in his mouth.
No, he should spit it and throw it.
I'm going to go out on a limb here for all of our listeners, and this is a free episode, so this big numbers here.
Yeah, huge
if
numbers.
Someone puts a grenade in your mouth, spit the grenade out.
You're under no obligation to hold that thing in your
jaws. You don't owe anybody anything.
I mean, it looks cool in a movie, but you're not in a movie.
No.
So just spit it out.
Exactly.
I had the note of one of my things was also about this first thing.
Damn. We're coming out the gates.
I think it's one of the better opening sequences I've seen.
It's a beautifully shot and action-packed, cool.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, I remember they showed it in front of certain showings of I Am Legend. When I Am Legend came out.
Oof, imagine having to see I Am Legend just to see this.
Some people definitely did buy a ticket to I Am Legend just to see this. It was in certain IMAX theaters that were showing I Am Legend. They showed this first scene since it's all shot in IMAX. It's just such a good like you said, it's beautifully shot. It's all IMAX. It's exciting and it's
very Joker-y.
Yeah, and it's a fun, if you don't figure out the game, because you probably don't know right away. It's I can't remember the first time watching it when I figured out that the Joker was there and the robbery.
It might be when he takes the goddamn...
It might be.
Or when he says, I killed the bus driver.
Yeah.
That might be where you're
it starts to become clear toward the end. It's but it's still, it's a fun surprise when it's oh shit, he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just a good sequence.
No, it's
a great way to just be we're fucking going here. We're in the movie now.
It's a damn good. It is. It very much is. But I can't. It's glaring that you have to take the idea that literally everybody in Gotham City pays no attention to Gotham City.
Yeah, and you have to
the ziplining thing.
Yeah, there's a lot that you have to just take and this. Christopher Nolan does this in his movies where it's just he asks a lot of your willful suspension of disbelief.
That's it, yeah. Nobody's looking out the windows at their shitty office job. Everybody is doing that.
Yeah, and
smartphones had barely existed at this point in time.
The smartphones in this movie are adorable. That Nokia,
Motorola
Nokia. Yeah, they're all Nokias.
This is my fancy brick phone.
Oh no, that's all right. I already have my cell phone. We're definitely going to talk about that, dude.
So then what we cut to Anthony Michael Hall on GCN, which, by the way, I love the bit parts in this. How they're just filled with the most random of people.
Yes.
They're just you know what? Fucking Anthony Michael Hall. Throw him in there. Why not?
Sure.
And he's interviewing the mayor.
Yeah.
About,
Nestor Carbonell. Batmanuel.
Yeah, Batmanuel.
Batmanuel.
Guy I saw at the pavilions that one time.
Sure.
So it's got there's a 40-second scene with them, then it cuts to Gordon at the bat signal where Ramirez comes by. They don't even spend half a second pretending Ramirez isn't gonna make the turn that Ramirez makes.
They really said that she's a kind of a baffling character. Because they make you they do everything they can to make her sympathetic, but she doesn't do a single redeeming thing in the film.
And also those extra seconds that they leave, that Nolan decides to leave on there, it's we get it, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's no, it's like she's so passive in everything, but they spend extra time on her.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we get it.
Right, like she's like Gordon asks her at the bat signal, it's like, how's your mom? She's like, oh, they had to, move her and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, it's like, her mom is sick.
Yeah.
That's going to come back later.
Check out this important chunk of dialogue. They're not putting, look, man, this movie's 2.5 hours long.
Yes.
And it is an edited down 2.5 hours.
Yes, it is.
Which is actually very clear. I think as you see this, you're like, there's some
scenes that end in the middle of a scene.
Yep.
Like there's some scenes that end like where it's like, oh, we're just done now. Okay.
Yep.
Like,
no more to this.
Yeah.
So then we get the Gordon the Bat signal. Then it cuts to the Scarecrow and the Russian, and we're talking about very short scenes where they are smashing everything.
Yeah.
Into this, which is I hate to blow it so early, but one of my second things. The pacing for the first half of this movie is weird and crazy and insane. It is, I think, slow and deep, and then it's like fast, 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 slow, fast, slow, fast, fast, fast. It's edited in a way that it is getting the information across from me, but it is, it's like being on a roller coaster in a not great way for the first half of the movie. And I understand because you've got a lot to establish in such a wide scope, but it's very start and go for me, where I feel like I'm on a slow, and then all of a sudden they just slam on the gas and then slam on the brakes real quick. It's tough. The pacing is tough for me.
Yeah, that's kind of a Nolan thing too. I
mean, it's an artistic choice, I think, but it gives you whiplash. This first half of the movie gives you like brain whiplash when you're trying to watch it because there's so much going on.
I will say that, and I think we mentioned it in a previous episode, but like the scene, the scene where he gets the fingerprint off the bullet. There's certain scenes, because of the way the film is edited, where they just kind of drop you in the middle of things sometimes, and it moves at a breakneck speed for sometimes, then other times it slows down and it's like, hey, check out this scenery.
Yeah.
There are, like, 10 years later, there are still some scenes in this movie that I don't completely understand. And it's because of the pacing. The bullet scene is one of them.
Yeah, the bullet scene, which is going to be, we're going to cover
We're
going to
get to that, yeah.
And then there's
the cell phone stuff, which will be in the second episode.
There's two things in the second episode we'll talk about.
Yeah, there's just a couple of things where it's not clear why this is happening.
I have an entire thing to say about the very first part of next week's episode.
Excellent.
The SWAT stuff.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about that. But we get the Scarecrow.
We do. He's still providing jobs.
And I do like, by the way, that the Scarecrow, like, he's not just a tool anymore. You can tell he's fucking around because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
It's funny because the Russian's all mad because he's like, look what your drugs do to my people. He's like, I told him it would take him places. I just didn't say where.
I didn't say
that's my guy.
Go.
That's my guy. There he is.
Because that's all he cares about.
He's making people scared about stuff.
He just wants to make his fear stuff. That's all he cares about.
He's just having a good time.
Scarecrow's not going to sell you heroin, man. He's going to sell you fear heroin.
And then we get one of the coolest, most interesting sub-threads of the trilogy, which is the Batman copycats.
Yes.
That is really cool because, yeah, of course that would
happen.
Be.
That would 1,000% happen.
Especially after the shit that happened in the Narrows.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be damn sure there'd be guys that would be dressing up in hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. This gets pointed out a lot, but when Batman first appears in the film is when he the Batman copycats show up to break up the drug deal between the Russian and the Scarecrow, and then one of them is shooting a rifle or a shotgun.
One has a shotgun, one has an Uzi.
Yeah. Batman appears to bend the barrel of the rifle. He has a little gadget in his hand that allows him to do that. But you have to have an equal resisting force to bend the gun, which means that the Batman double has to be strong enough to bend a gun.
He is.
So, that's just a nitpicky thing.
There's something really funny. Here's something super hilarious. and I've never thought about it until watching it yesterday, but this is how deep...
There's a couple of first watch things I got.
Here's my big first watch thing. Imagine modeling your life now after Batman and then having him beat the shit out of you.
Yes, having him
It's
appear
so funny to me.
and fucking kick you in the balls.
It would be like having Roger Clemens be your hero and just having him spit in your face and punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing funnier than a guy who's like trying to do the right thing, and then the guy that you've basically modeled your life after calls you an asshole and beats the shit out of you.
Yeah, because they're like, so, what makes you any different?
Yeah.
Like,
What gives you the right? I'm not wearing hockey pads. Which I still can't tell
as
if
he
he's
like
saying.
descends into
He's
his...
saying hockey pads.
I believe so.
Not because sometimes it sounds like he's saying hockey pants, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like a.
No, I don't
thing.
think he.
But yeah, like, they're wearing hockey pants. But whatever.
I think that's. I'm pretty sure that is one of my things. Let me scroll down here. Yes, one of my highlighted things is definitely the Bat voice in this film.
It's a little better than the first one.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Like this is the one that made all those Pete Holmes sketches.
Oh.
Like they've done.
Well, somebody said they did it in post instead of.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can particularly in the bank scene, in the very first scene where he shows up and he's like,
Oh yeah.
him again. Like they've dropped his voice or they've done.
I think they were like, maybe calm down a little bit.
They've done some like post-production magic to his voice, and it's like it's so extreme, and he makes the stupidest face when he's doing the Bat voice. It's just like, dude, just
he
like,
has to make a frown when he.
Yeah, it makes.
That just makes me think of when he picks Flass up and he's got a hilariously cartoonish frown.
He's like shaking. He's so
I'm so mad.
He's frowning so hard his face is trembling.
You make me so mad.
But it ruins every dramatic scene that Batman's in. The main one being the ending.
I think we all agree that Batman is the least interesting part of this movie.
Of course.
Like all of the scenes with Batman in the Batman movie are like fucking great.
Yeah, yeah, you're like, okay, where's the Joker?
Great, yeah. Well, give me an Alfred scene.
Yeah, anything. But yeah, the fucking Bat voice like ruins this movie. Kind of.
I mean,
like it makes it.
I was prepped. Batman Begins prepped me for this terrible voice.
It didn't go. It only went over the top like twice in Batman Begins, and the Flash scene is the most notable one.
I mean, I think there's something that we're going to talk about next week. So never mind. I don't want to get it, but there's
Sure.
The interrogation. Never mind. We'll get to it next week.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
There's a lot. Look, man, these are going to be dense. You guys are getting two.
You're getting a lot.
You're going to get two very dense episodes. So we have like he got bit by dogs and he has the little.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like sewing the dog bite up himself.
There's the scene where like Alfred walks into his penthouse with this tray full of breakfast and sees that Bruce is not there. He's like, oh, he must be in the docks in the standing bat cave.
He must be in a secret bat cave. He is
in the shipyard. So that was a bad one. Sounded like droopy there. So Alfred drives to the shipyard with like a thermos of coffee and everything. I hope he brought that entire breakfast.
It's all in the one thing.
Yeah, he just drives it over there. But like, there's a weird, like Alfred does it and Lucius does it later, where they kind of act like it's ridiculous that Bruce got mauled by a dog.
Oh, so if we want to jump to Bruce bringing it up, Lucius needs to calm the fuck down about having a snarky reply to everything Bruce
single
requests.
Thing, yeah.
Every single thing. Lucius is like trying out his tight five.
Right. He's like trying to dunk on Bruce every time he asks.
Yeah.
But like he's stitching his, like a dog
He
can.
got mauled by a Rottweiler.
Right. Like a Rottweiler can fucking kill you.
Yeah, they have strong ass jaws.
Like, and Alfred's like when Bruce, like he's like, did you get mauled by a tiger? And he's like, no, it was a dog. And Alfred's like, what? It's like it was a big dog.
Yeah, what do you think? They have tigers out here?
Yeah, and then Lucius does the same thing where he's like, or Bruce asks, like, will it protect against dogs? Like, should do fine against cats.
Yeah, he goes, Chihuahuas are Rottweilers, and then he goes, should do well against cats, and you're like, that's not what he asked.
It's like, why is everyone acting like getting attacked by a dog is like a ridiculous
Will
thing?
this prevent the real thing that already happened to him again?
Yeah.
So, we have the Harvey court scene.
Oh, I love
where the
this
guy in a hilariously cartoonish
he's
suit.
dressed like a balloon like artist. Like he's wearing this tweed jacket.
He looks like Beppo from the Batman I mean, it's Superman comics.
Yes.
He was like a hobo, but he's in court. And then you have the Maroney thing, and and so Harvey Dent's going to war with the mob.
Yeah,
and then he punches a guy who tries to shoot him in court. This
is again, I think we talked about this on Movie Club, but it doesn't matter because that's dead.
Yeah. Don't listen to Movie Club anymore. Don't give them the money.
Don't give them the money. They don't even know that show exists.
It's not a sponsored ad.
The whole courtroom. There's a couple of things that come to mind in the courtroom. First of all, Harvey is late. That's our introduction to the characters, that Harvey is late.
Yeah, it says Harvey late to court, and it's like, dude, show up.
But that's a weird, because for the rest of the movie, that's not his character at all.
No.
So it's weird that they introduce us to him by having him be late.
His office makes him seem a little overwhelmed and scrambled.
He's taking on too much. Yeah. He's got all these files everywhere. That's true.
Also, what's up with that dude sneaking in a gun?
That's the second of a few things that we'll talk about is the idea that Maroney was like, yeah, just shoot him when you're in court. Like, you have this guy who is a sworn-in witness who has a signed sworn statement that Maroney's the boss, suddenly flips, which is a huge crime, and pulls a gun and tries to shoot the DA, another huge crime. That would get Maroney convicted pretty fast.
I think the other aspect of that is that guy just committed suicide by accident.
Yeah.
You can't, even if he succeeded, blasting a DA in the face in court is minimum the death penalty.
Yeah.
And if there are some reliable witnesses there.
Yeah, and even now that he's failed, like, Maroney's gonna, have him killed in prison. Right. But like, what a weird, obvious thing to do. Like, if you're the defendant, to have like one of the witnesses try to kill the prosecutor in the middle of court. It's like, oh, clearly you did it. Like,
yeah, this isn't even. There's no like your daughter's tied up in a Brooklyn basement.
No,
face it, not guilty. That's not what's happening here.
My third thing is, we get introduced to his coin in this scene too.
Yeah,
he's like, "You want to flip to see who leads?" And he's like, well, it's my father's lucky coin. It got me my date with you, as I recall. I want to see how that coin got him a date with Rachel. What the fuck was that situation where a coin...
pushy, huh?
Yeah. It was like, well, did he... I guess you would... The only way I can imagine it would be like, oh, I'm going to flip, and if like heads, you got to go out with me. Like, and that's like the shittiest way to ask a person out. That's the only way I can conceive of how a coin flip would get you a date. Like, how else... Like, she wouldn't suggest it.
If you were charming enough, I bet you could pull it off. Like, if I was like...
You got to be real charming.
I was like, how about this? Heads, I pay for the date. Tails, you pay for the date. And then you flip it, and you're like, oh, heads, I guess we have to go out on that date now. Like, you could probably twist it in a way... You'd have to be charming to do it.
You'd have to be so charming.
Look, man, he's very handsome.
Yeah.
He's definitely her type, as we know, because she has been with several DAs now. Not shaming her. I'm just saying she has a type.
Yeah. That guy that got shot in the back in a shipping container in the first one.
Rachel's like, I have good luck with DAs.
Yeah. They don't all die.
And then we get a very ham-fisted interaction between Harvey and Gordon, which seems overly expository. Which is the I want to meet him, the irradiated bills.
Yeah, I didn't think it was ham-fisted, but
half the people under your thing are people that I investigated while I worked at internal affairs. It's like, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
If
I didn't work with people that you investigated, I'd be working alone.
Yeah, it's really...
Can I say it's weird that Gary Oldman's name is Gary?
Because he's British?
Just look at him. Just look at all the roles he's been in, like Dracula and Sid Vicious and all the movies he's been, like The Fifth Element. It's like, that dude's name is Gary.
I mean, I feel like he owns Gary, though.
He does. Like, yeah.
Like...
There's never going to be a better Gary.
For me, it's Old Man. That's the weird part. His name is Old Man.
That's true.
And you're looking at Gary as the weird part.
Well, like, who the fuck is named Gary?
Who's named Old Man? It's like a weird street insult. Like,
yeah, I see what you're.
It's very
expository. Yeah, it is. I never noticed it until now that you pointed it out.
Because they hammer it home like 3 times. They argue about like, you have dirty cops, you have people in your thing that are dirty. It's like, you're dirty, you're dirty. They do it so much.
Not in this scene though. Like,
no, he just brings it.
Gordon doesn't fire back in this scene. He's just like, well, I mean, I got to do the best with what I have.
I got a job to do.
Yep.
What do you want me to do? Not do my job
to do.
And then we
got a job to do with fake Bullock.
And then we have the Mr. Lau thing, which I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this sub-thread, the Mr. Lau thing, and the character isn't really as... If you removed that character and this plot from the entire movie, it would have been fine. It would have been fine.
He could have just come in and been like...
Yeah,
I'll kill the Batman and get your money back, but I want half of it. Like, we don't need Mr. Lau. I think this movie might have been one of the first blockbusters to do the China thing. Yeah, where it's like they Transformers and the Avengers movies, a lot of big blockbusters. In order to sell overseas, will have Chinese superstars. Yeah. They'll set scenes in China. And sometimes it seems real shoehorned. Other times it seems organic. This one's pretty shoehorned.
It's like, pretty aggressive.
Suddenly Batman goes to Hong Kong.
Yeah, although it's interesting
that
it's...
a 30-minute subplot that Batman has to go to Hong Kong to get this guy back.
It's funny that it's Hong Kong, which is essentially Asian London.
Yes.
It is. I mean, Hong Kong. Obviously, what is Cantonese? It's spoken.
I don't know,
but English is
right because
so
it was a British colony until 1999,
until 98 or 99.
Yeah,
until Rush Hour 2.
Until Rush Hour 2, when they kicked Tom Wilkinson out of a window. Isn't he the bad guy? Anyway,
he's in the first one.
We'll do that when we do Tom and Jeff watch Rush Hour.
Yes. Now, you said here that you got nothing to lose, but you didn't think about your little girl that you've been watching.
Bang! That's the power of fear.
That's the power of doing karate for 35 years. There's the part where he's like, so I'm thinking I want to move my head, and he's like, you want to be able to move your head?
Able to turn your head.
That should have been the first thing.
Well, and that's, man, I have so many bolded points.
Although that was Bruce and Alfred that designed the first.
Yes.
So I guess, but
they designed it piecemeal.
It's funny that, which is weird that the cowl is an immobile thing.
It's always been
built it
like
in
this
pieces.
This is the first movie where Batman is actually able to turn his head without turning his entire body.
Yeah.
We probably talked about it in the Batman Forever episode, but like when he has to turn and give Gordon the thumbs up, he has to rotate his entire torso away from the controls of the Batplane and be like, thumbs up. And this is one of my bolded points, but I mean, this is such a dense. We're gonna have probably several points. I think the bat suit is bad in this movie. I think it looks bad. It looks like bad motorcycle armor. It bothers me that you can't, and this is kind of true for all 3 Nolan movies. It bothers me that you can't see the bat symbol on his chest. It's dumb and nerdy, I know, but it bothers me that you can't see it. Mm-hmm. It just sort of, because it doesn't have like the yellow.
It's basically the chest plate.
Yeah, it just blends in with his. You have to like look for it. And from the profile, it's fine, but when you see Batman head on with the redesigned thing that lets him turn his head is huge.
It's pretty thick.
Like it looks like a cat that hasn't been neutered.
But it should be. He should have some. He's got circuitry in there. He's got a fucking bicycle helmet.
It looks like a light bulb. Like it's that dramatic of a thing when you're looking at him head on.
Because
he looks silly.
The neck has to be mobile and everything like that. But it's funny though because they bring it up a lot when he's like, I can make you armor for what you need. It's gonna be weaker. Like he even says that.
He says
like there's parts where he's like, you're gonna get fucking stabbed.
Right, like he has to trade mobility for armor. Yeah, so like the bulkier suit would have protected more, but he's not as mobile.
And Lucius does say that too.
He does.
He's like, look, by having it compartmentalized, you are now more mobile. Now more.
It's especially
open to harm.
Yeah. It's especially noticeable in the scenes. Like there's a couple of close-ups, like when he finds the coin, and there's a couple of close-up shots of Batman's hand when he's doing stuff, and it's just motorcycle armor. For some reason, it really takes me out of it. Like I hate his suit in this one and in The Dark Knight Rises.
I think because we like the fantasy of this so much that to see it realistically, the only way it could actually work,
he would be wearing motorcycle
armor.
Would look like
it would look different and weird.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, this is what realistically a vigilante like Batman would be wearing in real life, and I get that. It's just. The most egregious part to me is the mask. Like I said, when you see him head on, bulbous, it's like it looks like a light bulb. Like it balloons out. And he looks fucking silly.
It is bigger than normal.
I don't even know if it's bigger. It's just because normally the cowl is one width.
Yeah,
but when you remove the
see
cowl,
Batman's neck.
Yeah, because you can see his neck now because that's the only way to do it.
Unless you're The Rock. There's no way you're going to have a neck that's comparable to that.
Right.
helmet.
You have to make the cowl 2 pieces in order for him to be able to turn his neck.
Yeah, it's weird that because they were making him mobile, that they didn't choose to also pad his neck a little bit.
Right. Like, that's super vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if you guys know about
Batman
the
neck.
But I don't know if you... I need to protect myself against dogs who regularly go for my neck.
They're trained to go for your fucking throat. He gets attacked by dogs more than once in this film. He also kills more than one dog in this film.
I think he throws one of them into a net. Doesn't he isn't there some kind of net thing that he throws a dog into?
He throws all 3 of them off the construction site in the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're trying to kill him.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We have the hotel restaurant scene with the ballerina. They go.
Yes. Yeah.
She goes, I love the line. She's like, "How could you raise children in a city like this?" It's like, you're a ballerina. You're not having kids. You haven't had a period in 15 years.
Bruce, I have this written down. Bruce should for real date that ballerina because, hear me out. He should. First of all, he needs to stop pining over Rachel because, like in the first movie, she treats him like garbage in this film,
and she has every right to because she is. And she even calls him out on it. She's like, "Stop projecting onto me."
Right.
Like you
that
need to cut this shit out.
Don't make me be. Don't. What'd she say?
I'm
don't
not the
have
anchor.
me be your only hope for a normal life.
Yeah.
And that's fair. But she's also like, she also sort of like willfully misinterprets everything he does. Like when he didn't stand up and say, "Wait, Harvey's not Batman. I'm Batman." She's like, "No, he's not. Like, why would he do that?" And it's like, do you really not understand why he would do that?
Yeah.
Like,
you don't.
Like, do you not understand why Harvey did that? Like, he's setting a trap for the Joker, and then Batman, the real Batman. Will, anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like, so he's got to stop pining over Rachel because she's not into him. Not into him.
Yeah.
That way, clearly. This ballerina is she's like
she's the prima ballerina.
She's a prima ballerina of this world traveling company. She's well read.
Yeah.
Like she engages Harvey about this conversation about ancient Rome, and like she. Obviously is into Bruce.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. So like fucking date that ballerina, man. Like,
I mean, the last time he dated a Russian, it was Miss Kitka, and it didn't go well. But then we also have, here's the thing. They tried to make Harvey Dent a quote machine in this movie. There are several lines where it's, and they're all kind of dumb.
Well, the one, I mean, they succeeded because people repeat that one.
It's usually a joke now,
right? But it's so sweaty in the film.
You either die a hero,
right,
or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Which is
that's a mouthful of a phrase for one.
Yeah, first of all, that's too many words for a quotable. Second of all, that's not like true.
That's not at all.
Like.
And the other one he says is the darkest before the dawn line. That's also not true.
That doesn't make any sense. No, it's not.
It's none of that.
It gets lighter.
That's not
because the Earth is rotating back toward the sun. I mean, it's darkest in the middle of the night.
It's always if he was like it's always darkest 2 to 3 hours before the dawn. I'd be like, yeah, okay,
that's correct.
But like, I don't. Why did they do that? Why are they trying to make him like a modern sage? And it's just like, no, he's just a fucking DA. You don't have to make him Yoda of your fucking movie.
Around this area, against another one of my fucking bolded points. I have so many, and then
there's a lot to talk about. I think we're gonna have to throw out the 3 things rule for this movie.
Well, I mean, the one main thing we need to talk about is Heath Ledger as the Joker. Right?
Yeah, well, and that's coming up next because we have the crime meeting next.
Yes, yeah. man, I have so much written down about this. I mean, obviously he's great.
This scene, by the way, has almost all of the best jokes in the whole movie crammed into 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we see the Joker right away, obviously in the opening scene, but then it's almost 30 minutes before we get to this scene. So it's been like a while. So this is almost the character's introduction.
Yeah. I mean, realistically,
it is.
You get words from him.
Yeah. He's obviously people have been talking about this performance for 10 years, but like he's so fucking good. Like I've seen this movie so many times. I cannot, and the makeup is part of it, absolutely, but I can't see Heath Ledger in there.
Yeah, you barely, even when he's not wearing,
when he doesn't have the makeup on,
war paint.
Yeah, yes, war paint.
I will say this, that the interactions here are great. I wish Christopher Nolan calmed Michael Jai White down a little bit.
Yeah,
because he's overdoing it a little bit much. Just a little bit. Like he's 10% too much.
Right, he's understandably furious because the Joker has stolen all their money.
But it is funny that the Joker keeps poking him on purpose.
It's
because he's a racist.
Yeah, I mean, it's setting up that he's going to kill Gamble. And,
when he does the kicking a nickel for his when he does the Gamble here
grandma.
Won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma.
Yeah,
the magic trick bit is one of the greatest true introductions to a character.
Right, because it plays into
what he's willing to do,
and also how dangerous he is. Because there's a couple of times later on in the film, like with Fake Bullock, and then also with Batman, where it's like, don't put your hands on him. Like it's like a bear trap if you touch him.
Yeah, I mean he's a porcupine.
Yeah,
like don't go at him. It shows, but it also shows that he likes what he's doing.
Yes.
Like he sees that it's fun and funny to him. There's so much. The only time in this entire movie that he's serious is when Michael Jai White goes, "You're crazy," and then he just goes, I'm not.
Yeah.
And he it's the one time he breaks from doing his bits.
His bit, yeah.
That he's just like, don't fucking call me crazy.
Yeah.
Which
he takes offense to it.
I think that also leads to why he ends up killing Gamble, because he didn't like being called crazy.
He doesn't like him, yeah.
Which is crazy.
I mean, he kills all of them except for Maroni.
He doesn't kill Maroni. And we don't actually. I mean, he does it off, but like the Russian, we don't.
Right, but we can
infer that.
Yeah, I mean, it was always his plan to. He was never going to make good on his deal.
Yeah,
like he was always going to kill them.
And they do the line like, "You think you can steal from us and walk away?"
Yeah. That's such a great.
And then the here's my card, and he just and it's just a Joker card. It's just a Joker.
There's no contact information.
It's so funny, like those.
And he has a vest full of grenades.
The pencil bit.
Yeah.
The you can steal from us and walk away bit, and then the here's my card bit. Those are 3 genuinely funny jokes.
Yeah.
Out of a terrifying person that is also extorting you.
Yes. Yeah.
And it also has one of the best lines where he does, if you're good for something, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah.
Which
I think that's genuine advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Subscribe to our Patreon. Yeah, particularly for writers out there, when somebody's like, "We'll pay you an exposure." No.
Then, but the crime meeting is a wonderful.
It's such a good scene, and also it there's a lot of kind of watching it this time because I'm watching it more analytically.
Yeah.
There's some fun stuff about first of all these crime bosses get along really well.
They all Maroni and the Russian are thick as thieves.
Right. And Gamble's there.
Yeah.
He's fine, he's chilling. But yeah, they're like Maroni and the Russian are like BFFs.
It's fascinating. And I wonder, you get the docs. You get
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Yeah, I guess who's doing security for this? I guess it's Lau's people, because they appear to be Chinese, the door guards.
Yeah, because Lau takes off with the money, and then he's on the TV. He's like, "I took your money." Also, by the way, the actor that plays Lau is one of the best performances in this movie.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a really, really, he does such a good job. I like him more when I watched it. I was like, this guy's really good.
Yeah,
I've seen him in a bunch of stuff.
I think he was in Skyscraper.
Yeah,
I saw him in something recently.
But he's really fantastic in this.
Yeah, he's good in this.
And he does like the I know squealers and that right there. And then the whole like Batman has no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
He'll find him. Like it's pretty great.
The television's plan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great
one. Now, there's in talking about Heath Ledger as the Joker.
All right, yeah, let's really break this open.
Because this is a huge point of this movie.
Yeah.
Like this, he is the reason we're still talking about this movie.
Of course.
I'm sure.
What about me?
No,
nope,
no. And this is, it's dark, I guess, but like, how much, honestly, did his death contribute to this film? Because it sort of pushes both the film and his performance into like a mythic area.
Yeah, because you're looking at it's almost macabre.
Yeah.
To think that you're like, come watch the movie that killed Heath Ledger.
Well,
but that's part of it though. Because he really put himself into a dark place.
He did, but I've read so much about that, and that it's. Like that idea that like, oh, he just couldn't escape this headspace is pretty much just a rumor, because what he died from was an accidental overdose of medications that I think fucking Marina takes. But so it's like it could happen to anyone if you have the exact wrong dosage or whatever.
I mean, I knew somebody that knew him when he was alive, and he was a good timing boy.
Yeah, sure
he was. He had a good time.
I had a friend who was working in Chicago at a Starbucks while they were making this movie, and would see him every morning when he came in to get coffee. And then one morning she like deliberately messed up his order to keep him at the counter longer.
That's a good move.
Yeah,
it's power.
Said
move.
He was perfectly nice.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he was. Here's the thing about Hollywood that I think people like the drugs out here. It's more than you think, and it's much more casual than you think, and
this is all true.
It's all part of it, and most people don't think stuff is dangerous until it fucking kills you.
Right. Like Heath Ledger wasn't even 30. So, like, think about you in your 20s. Like, oh, I'm indestructible.
Yeah,
like,
I still think I'm
invincible.
37.
Yeah, I'm approaching 40, and I have a bad hip now.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm still boxing all the time. Like, this isn't going to have long-lasting repercussions to my stupid idiot body.
Well, you're not fighting people, are you?
Yeah. I mean, well,
please don't do that.
Fighting some stuff. But so like the Ledger, the mythos, you're right. And I don't think it doesn't diminish it doesn't alter the quality of the performance, but it is why he got his Oscar.
That was another question I was going to ask.
I think so. I don't think the Academy would have respected the performance enough.
I mean, which is strange. I know, because it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
But like, he is like electrifying in this movie. Like
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Think about all the stuff, as we're going to find out, that's improv that he did. There are several scenes that are pure improv from him.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. The kidnapping scene,
mm-hmm.
the Batman impersonator,
mm-hmm.
that was an improv scene where they just gave him a camcorder.
Yeah. Yep.
And that dude didn't know what was going to happen. He was like fed a couple of lines, but in reality, it was just Heath Ledger fucking with some dude.
Yeah.
And it ended up being such an important piece.
It's what they used in the first trailer that we got.
Yeah, in the promo stuff.
In the ARG stuff, like the alternate reality games that they did to hype this movie up. One of the first things they did was like some code that you got that would unlock an image, and it was an image of the Joker when he films himself, and that's when he says, "I'm a man of my word," and then it also unlocks like an audio trailer where you heard some dialogue, and all of the Joker's dialogue came from that sequence in that little bit that they.
That scene, by the way, I don't mind jumping to that scene because this is in this chapter, right? In this episode. I don't mind jumping to that scene because here's something about that scene is it also puts into play that the Joker is a close-up serial killer. Maybe not with a psychopathy, maybe not like with the need to be a serial killer, but the idea that he is going to get down and dirty. He slaughters that guy. He literally
he's in a meat
he
locker.
Murders him like on camera. You hear the guy squealing as he's being fucking murdered, like slaughtered like a pig.
And they're in a meat locker.
And then you have the new stuff, it's like that's how it goes. Think about what that does to the Joker as a character that you'd never really see. It had always been like weird schemes or like organized crime as a concept, or he'll shoot a guy.
Yeah.
But this Joker, and especially as we find out next week as we talk about, but he's an up close and personal monster.
Yeah. And I wonder, that was the last part of my point about Heath Ledger's performance. Obviously this characterization is great because everybody loved it, and it's the reason we're still talking about this movie and this role. Did it ruin the Joker? Because I feel like subsequent versions of the Joker are just trying to like one up or catch up to this performance, and they just wind up looking like a bunch of edgelords.
Well, you only have one, really. I mean, not counting Joaquin Phoenix because we haven't seen.
Well, I meant in the comics and in other iterations.
I don't
of the character.
think so. I think they covered it a little bit with Brian Azzarello. Brian Azzarello and Lieber Mayhew did the Joker one shot. The hardcover.
I remember.
It was gorgeous, and that is sort of it was almost a comic tie-in to the Dark Knight.
Right, it was like in universe, and it had the Riddler as Johnny Depp, which was a rumor,
and Harley. It had Harley in it and stuff, and but in the comics they didn't really do too much. And as a matter of fact, Scott Snyder, when he brought,
doesn't he write the Joker cutting his own face off?
That was a part of it, but that's actually. It's a fascinating story. It's really good. And they did a lot of really fun stuff with that character that was totally not Ledgerified at all. And he started writing that book in 2010 or 11. Like, and he was like, I mean, he did his thing, but this is comics.
Yeah.
Like, so in that regard, I don't think so. I think Jared Leto had to put his stamp on it. I don't mind the Jared Leto Joker, by the way. And we'll discuss that when we do Suicide
Right.
Squad.
I don't mind the performance. I don't like the look of the character.
I like the look of the character because of who hates the look of the character. I like that the same swarm of, and this is present company excluded, but like the neckbeardy, I feel like I should have a say in what these people are doing with their characters, people. The fact that they hated it made me love it so much more. Anything that trolls bad fans is perfect to me. I also view it as we've gotten how many versions of the Joker in the past 30 years? Like, it's going to keep evolving.
It's not even the craziest one I think is in The Batman.
Oh, yeah, like the weird Rasta looking Joker.
Yeah, and he's like hulking and does like karate.
Yeah.
Like,
so who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's in a weird, like, you know what they're giving you, and I also feel like where they were planning to go with that Joker was obviously that it was the Jason Todd character. But I liked one thing I really liked about that never mind.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to that. But I actually don't mind. I don't think he did, other than I think Jared Leto felt like he needed to up his game a little bit. It wasn't poorly acted.
No, he wasn't. Because he's not a bad actor. But like, I wonder if. Because a lot of the buzz around this when it was coming out was like, well, how can he follow up Jack Nicholson? And it's like, well, he does it by doing a completely different thing. So I wonder if now, like, because this also sort of spawned the idea that every comic book villain has to have a crazy voice.
Yeah. Marvel did okay without that. I mean,
you still have the Mandarin.
I think, but the Mandarin was
it was a
purposely delivered line.
But we didn't know that when the movie was coming out. So
and then they were like, oh, he's just a fucking goofy asshole.
Yeah.
Like, but honestly, like, other than the Mandarin, like, when you look at the Marvel stuff, like, the Mandarin was a fucking red herring.
Yeah, it was a goof.
The other stuff, like, you know, Michael Keaton as the Vulture is just being fucking Michael Keaton. He's not like, Spider-Man. Honestly, I think Willem Dafoe really ramped up the weird villain.
He really did.
Hey, Spider-Man!
The heart is born.
I always remember when I saw that movie the first time. I was with a friend of mine, and it was the scene where they're at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And my friend in the middle of the theater just goes, have some turkey! And it became the funniest thing I have ever heard in my life, because he just went whole hog into the voice, screaming. I know that's the you had to be there situation, but I still stand by the have some turkey.
I mean, it's good. It's pretty good.
Just having somebody scream that in a movie theater during a movie people have waited their whole lives for.
Yeah.
Just making fun of the voice.
Yeah.
Because it's so stupid.
I was definitely in there like, ooh, like shitting my pants.
Oh, yeah, come on. So we'll get back into plot. We get you're a hard man to reach line. It's at the bat signal.
Oh, yeah.
When he looks at Batman, he goes, you're a hard man to reach. It's like, is he? Because he's at the place where you called him.
You turned on the light and he showed up.
That seems
That's what he does.
Pretty. I mean, that's a direct line.
They do, like Gordon does say in the beginning with that little scene with Ramirez where he's like, he doesn't always show up. Yeah, he often doesn't. Yeah. But yeah, and then he flies to fucking the convoluted sequence of him flying to China. We do have to talk about Lucius gaslighting that guard in Lau's towers so fucking hard. Like,
Lucius Fox he's got bits.
He does.
Lucius has bits.
He is entertaining himself, and he doesn't give a shit about anyone else.
For the love of the game, man.
Yeah.
I also love, though, that isn't he the CEO now?
I think so.
That he's still hanging out and fucking R&D.
Yeah, he's still in the basement tinkering with bat gadgets. Like, don't you have like financial meetings you need to be at?
I wrote Lucius is always doing bits. Just give him what he needs.
Yeah, just don't. Maybe you should read the instructions first, Mr. Wayne. Maybe you should tell me this thing shoots.
Tell me this thing shoots knives into my fucking face.
Yeah. Before you fucking hand it to me, you goblin.
One quick note that I wanted to say about, but it's the part where it says that a billionaire absconds with entire Russian ballet.
Yeah,
Rachel has like a Mentos "That's so Bruce" face when she like does like a half smile and she's like, "That's so Bruce." I'd be so pissed.
Then we bought tickets to this ballet.
We really wanted to see this ballet.
You think they'd get a call or something?
Maybe let us know.
Yeah,
This was a night.
Yeah,
we had to get a dog sitter.
Maggie Gyllenhaal as Rachel is so overacted in this movie.
I think she's better than Katie Holmes, though.
She's she is in general.
They don't respect her character very much.
Definitely not.
They think they are.
Definitely not. Yeah. Well, it's that pitfall that they always come into. Where I mean, we've brought it up in both films now that she is shitty to Bruce.
Yeah.
Where they think like, oh, a strong female character is someone who's just angry at
kind of a bitch. Yeah,
angry all the time. It's like, no, like just write a character the same way you would write a male character, and then that's the character. Like, it's not that hard.
You don't have to keep typecasting Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
You know, like...
But like, it's the most glare. Like, I really noticed it this time is in the scene after the guy tries to shoot Harvey in court, and she's talking to him like, where it's like
he's like, I just got shot at.
She's like, it's good the mob's trying to kill you. That means you're not doing your job. And it's like, if you say you're rattled, you can take the rest of the day off. The way she acts in that scene is
him.
so well. It's not even that. It's just so.
Well, yeah.
I mean, she is gaslighting him, but it's also like so cartoonish. Like, she's enunciating so strangely in that scene.
I'd be like, bitch, this is a thing.
Like,
I just faced my own mortality today.
Right. Yeah, I almost got shot in the chest.
A gun had a 2% chance of failed.
Yeah.
I was 98% dead this afternoon. we get before we get to the Hong Kong scene though, we also have the first introduction of the How I Got These Scars story.
Yes,
with Gamble. First off, the Joker's goons are all very skinny. The Joker is an equal opportunity employer. He doesn't just hire muscly goons.
No, anyone.
All of those guys were 135 tops.
Because they're all, he goes through them like toilet paper. Like they're all expendable.
I like the guy that looks like a cat.
Yes.
There's for sure, you know the guy I'm talking about.
Yep.
He's got the braids. He's the black guy. His eyes are sharp.
Yeah.
Like he
looks like a cat.
Man.
Yeah.
I look at him like, man, this guy looks like a cat.
Like you said, the guy that looks like a cat. I immediately knew who you were talking about. I'm like, that guy.
Yeah.
And we don't see him again. It's the only time we see him.
Now he probably gets murdered by the Joker off stage.
Sure. He probably stuffs a bomb into him and has him get arrested.
There's 30 guys with bombs walking around just in case the wrong guy gets arrested.
Yeah. What an operation. I do. Man, we're running through so many bold points because it's another bold point of mine is the how I got these scars stuff. I love that they took that direction with the Joker's origin, where it's like we have no idea who he is or where he came from or why he's doing what he's doing, and the movie hits you in the face with that by having him tell different versions of the same story.
Great.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a slight nod to the Killing Joke, and then there you go.
A little bit, yeah.
Because the Killing Joke has the thing where it's like this is his origin, but it's not.
Yeah.
Which is clever. He's like, it's fiction. He's like this story, everything is fiction when it comes to certain shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting. The How Do I Get These Scars bits are good. They're good.
Yeah.
I'll just say that they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
I don't need to tear everything down here. Now we get to the Hong Kong scene. And this was going to be one of my bold things.
Yeah.
Is Bruce Wayne not famous? People are gonna make the connection.
Yeah.
Gotham's most famous person and Gotham's worldly vigilante are both in the same fucking city.
They both vanish at the same time. Also, how did they pay for that airplane? Probably Bruce Wayne, right? Won't they put that shit together?
A lot of dummy corporations and shells. It's very... You're right. I mean, hiring South Korean smugglers...
They're going to tell someone.
Cash.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, smugglers are usually...
Yeah.
They know to shut the fuck up.
I mean, even I get boarded sometimes.
So Bruce Wayne is just walking around Hong Kong.
Yeah, he's just chilling, like in a footbridge below the Laos building.
JFK Jr. would have been picked out of a crowd.
Yeah.
Like, you can't... People are famous.
Yeah. Some AP photographer would have been like, that's fucking Bruce Wayne.
It's fucking Bruce Wayne is in Hong Kong.
Some pics.
And also, did you notice that the Lao security building exploded and a plane and
Batman was here?
Yeah. Did you guys know White Batman was here?
Yeah.
The guy who's also 6'2"?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny. One of my favorite things about The Dark Knight is how much of a hypocrite he is about guns.
Yes.
He is 100%.
He has a gun that shoots plastic explosives.
I literally have all caps, gun that shoots bombs.
Yes.
That's not less.
Yeah.
That's not.
He also kills people.
Yeah, and he also has a car made of guns.
Yeah.
But so he has the gun that shoots bombs. That scene is wholly unnecessary and super cool.
It is. Like you said, you could completely delete Lao and the whole Hong Kong trip from the film, but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like he fucking flies from another building into the... it's cool.
It is weird that like Batman is outsourcing a jet kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
He's hiring smugglers. Like, doesn't he have in the comics it would have been like a remote controlled bat jet or something.
Right. Yeah, but you need to make it Nolan-fied, so you have to think about Korean smugglers.
Fucking remote controlled bat jet in the next film.
Into Pyongyang.
Now you just hit this remote control button and it will fly in and pick you up from Hong Kong.
The funny thing about... Never mind. That's for 2 weeks from now.
We'll
talk about the jet because
that's the stupidest thing. All right.
Here's the thing, though. It kind of ties into this. That means he has the jet now.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It super
He currently
does.
has the jet.
He super does.
Because he wasn't making new shit.
No.
After and yeah.
Anyway. So yeah. I fucking, this is the third time I'm bringing it up. I just fucking love Lucius going back downstairs and the guard being like, here's your phone. He's like, no, I've got mine already. And the guard just like freezes and rotates his entire body to turn back to put it back in the drawer. Like,
he's like
he gaslit that guard so hard, he's questioning his entire existence.
That guard's
right
like,
now.
I am so fired as he puts it away.
Yeah.
Because that phone, they're going to figure it out, right?
Yes.
They might figure out that phone is the reason that the boss was kidnapped.
They also leave it there. All this like Wayne tech in that phone. They just leave it in Lau's tower.
You know who doesn't like to reverse engineer tech? The Chinese. Yeah, there's internet. I mean, he probably has a self-destruct in there.
Let's hope so.
I mean, come on.
Probably. Sure. We'll
But it's so funny that Lucius Fox's phone exploded right after Batman kidnapped the boss.
Just in the desk. Yeah.
There's no way that this kidnapping doesn't tie back to Wayne Enterprises.
It would be all over the news. Like, he suddenly reappears in Gotham to, like, you wouldn't call that that would be an international incident.
Not only would it be an international incident, but the aspect of the fact that it's all very Gotham-y.
Mm-hmm. Batman's
in Gotham. Lucius Fox is in Gotham. He was there 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
He was right there. There's no way that doesn't get tied. China should know who Batman is.
Yeah, you'd think. Like, at this point, it's like, Let's see, Wayne Enterprises CEO came to visit Mr. Lau. Hours later, he is abducted and appears in Gotham City.
By an American vigilante.
Yeah. Methinks Wayne Enterprises is somehow connected to
silly
Batman.
Tech, by the way.
Also, what the hell did Batman do to Lau? Because when Gordon finds him on the steps of the police station, he's like in a fugue state. Like did he drug him?
I mean, yes, actually, no,
probably
he probably did.
Yeah, because he's just like
yeah, he is. He got pumped full of fucking tranquilizer.
So much tramadol.
You just picture a fucking dart in his neck.
Just an IV of he's just fucking blue pills.
And then Lau is all like cocky in the interrogation scene, and it's like, you're about to die, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna get assassinated by every mobster.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he knows that he has a pretty big hand to play.
Yeah,
so he's
and they're gonna let him walk. By the way,
yeah,
with what, $62 million or something like that.
Yep.
That's a pretty good payday, Mr. Lau.
I mean, even more than that.
Yeah.
He says $62 million is a small amount that got seized.
Yes. Oh, there it is.
So he's that giant pyramid of money is the money that he has.
And so we get that, like, the Rico case, and then the arrest scene, which has one of the most out of place, stupid lines ever.
Fake Bullock saying, "Have a nice trip. See you next fall."
See you next fall. As he puts him in a car.
Yep.
What
the fuck?
What does that even mean, dude?
I keep calling him Fake Bullock because this character should have been Bullock.
Yeah, there's two Bullocks.
Is there?
Because there's also Crooked Bullock. There's regular Bullock and Crooked Bullock.
Wirtz.
Yeah.
The guy who's in every he always plays a Chicago cop.
Yeah.
This actor.
Yeah.
I think he might literally be a Chicago cop.
Like, how do you think Dennis Farina got his acting job?
He is a Chicago. He was a Chicago
cop he was on set. He's like the Arlie Ermey of cops. He was on set, and they were just like, just fucking use the guy.
Rip, Dennis Farina, rest in paradise.
Arlie Ermey can fuck off, though.
Yeah.
Then we have the scene with the mayor. Then we have the dead Batman guy.
Yes.
And that cuts to the scene that we've already talked about.
The dead Batman guy, again, plays into you have to accept that the Joker's a sorcerer in this movie. Mm-hmm. Because how in the hell
do you get a dead
did
body?
he get a 200-plus pound man to the top of that building in daylight,
window washer,
and drop him down in a noose at the exact moment that the mayor walks to the window?
And then they just
like they would spot him. First of all, he would be seen. There's no way you can muscle up. The guy is probably he's 200 plus. There's no way you could muscle a body that size to the top of a building.
Here's the only way I could think of it would be window washer. And then you just have it, like, who's looking at what the window washer has on their thing? You know, you just roll them up in a carpet or something like that.
That's true.
And do a window washing thing, but just go all the way to the top.
I want to see that scene.
It's the only, yeah, I mean, but you're right. It's the only way that practically makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, when it comes down, I would just take his head off, right? It's just his whole body.
You can't drop that. You cannot drop that distance because they're like midway between the skyscraper.
And like the math of doing the rope distance. The math on that is so crazy.
Right, and you could argue that's like, well, he didn't necessarily want to time it when the mayor would be there. It's like, yeah, but he wanted to hit like the mayor's office because otherwise it might be a minute before somebody notices that body because it's a big building. You could hang a body midway down a skyscraper and people might not notice it for maybe an hour. Like,
some of those human spider guys?
Is that a dead guy? Like, just hanging.
Did Batman hang himself?
I guess Batman was having some real problems we didn't know about.
Yeah, I love that. And then we have the video, which is like sort of improv, and we talked about that enough. And then we get the fundraiser, which another one of those you've got to willingly suspend a lot of disbelief here.
This scene is madness.
It's
I guess Wirtz is guarding the building because Wirtz is in the elevator with his badge up, but then the Joker doesn't kill him.
I think he must know that he's owned by Maroni.
He must, yeah. That's true.
Remember, he's being hired by Maroni, so Maroni was probably like, I got a guy that will get you in.
Yeah, and he does say later, it's like, me? Who did you leave him with? Your people? Like, he clearly knows that Wirtz and Ramirez are dirty cops.
So, you have the scene. It's funny. He's really funny in it. Like when he like picks up the champagne glass and it all goes everywhere, and
he's like looking at each person like, Harvey, no, like he's
eating food,
he's eating the shrimp. Senator Patrick Leahy has a cameo, and
then he does like we're not afraid of thugs like you, and then he's like, you should be. He reminds me of my dad.
That's a line. I think that's a good line that gets ruined by the second part of the line. Because I remember when I saw this movie in the theater for the first time, when he says the line, "You remind me of my father," it got the reaction you wanted. Like there was an audible like "oh" in the audience because we know what that means because he did I got these scars and it was my father was a drinker and a fiend.
Yeah.
But then he adds like, I hated my father. It's like we don't need that part. Like we understand the menace from the first part of that line.
There's an interesting tidbit about this scene too, where this is the first time that Alfred or that Michael Caine had ever seen Heath Ledger's Joker character.
Yeah,
they kept him secret.
Yeah, I'd read that.
So and that's why his face is like kind of like Jesus.
It's the only scene they have together too.
Yeah, but like they kept him. He had no access to that look.
Yeah,
which is
which
means they filmed the video scenes afterwards where they're like trying to look at them, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, but I mean they did that with Pennywise in the new It movie. Like they didn't show the kids what he looked like until the scene where he meets them. Yeah. Because you get a good reaction out of people. They did the same thing with Danny DeVito's Penguin.
The fundraiser scene, though, it's fascinating for several ways. First off, Bruce Wayne can't figure out if he's playing an asshole or not in this. He's
he's still being an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, and I get it because he wants people to think that Bruce is an asshole. So
he's like, also throwing a fundraiser to not be an asshole.
To give him, he's like, it's like I mean, that's the point of Batman. He's at war with himself, right? So it's like, I have to keep projecting the shithead, but also I want to support this guy. But I
can't not be a shithead about it.
Him when he's supporting him. He's like, I believe in Sure. He gives him that real shitty thumbs
you
up.
fucking idiot.
You piece of shit.
You
Get the fuck out of my
moron.
penthouse.
Would you punch one mobster and you think you're a badass? But then there's the scene like where you get the like, 3 people have been targeted. The DNA came. And then he just chokes Harvey out.
He sure does.
And throws him in a closet and locks him
in his panic room. That's a good.
Does he throw him in the panic? No. He goes to the panic room to put on his Batman costume after he locks Harvey in a closet.
That's true.
And then those 2 people that were straight up fucking.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, let us in your panic room." He's like, "Nope." He also beats up a dude for calling him pretty boy and beats him to unconscious with his own shotgun. That's fun.
And then takes apart the gun. That's a pretty badass
scene. But here's the thing.
Well, when go ahead and finish your thought because I have another thought.
Well, go with your thought because
when he chokes out Harvey and like Harvey puts up he just slaps his hand and I was like, stop it. like I'm fucking choking you out.
You're not gonna not get choked out.
I'm fucking Batman.
Yeah. Who are you? So you have the face-off between Rachel and the Joker, which, sure, be a badass as you get murdered. Fine,
sure, it's fine because we get the second, you know how I got these scars speech there, and it's dizzying because the camera's going, and then it stops when he says they carved her face. It's good,
and
it's
then
well
she
done.
hits him in the dick.
She does,
and then he goes like he does it's a really good. It's like a trailer line where he goes, "You got some fight in you." Now I like that. And then Batman goes, "You're gonna love me." Somebody would have noticed Batman was showing up.
Yep.
And I tweeted about this.
He didn't appear out of the floor.
I tweeted about this a while ago, several months ago.
David Copperfield's out of the floor.
And David Bell had the funniest reply to it, which is just picturing Batman on his tiptoes, like sneaking in and going like, shh, like making shush looks at all the. Because some old white lady would be like, "It's the Batman."
Yeah, Senator Patrick Leahy would have been like, "It's the Batman."
Like somebody would be like, "Oh, fucking Batman's here! Thank God,
thank Christ!"
But instead, everyone's just like, make way for Batman so he can surprise the Joker.
And like in all the like in the Schumacher movies, like when Batman shows up, like the crowd is like, "It's Batman!"
There's always one lady,
yeah,
in like an ostentatiously
clutching the pearls,
like bright diamond necklace, and like a glittery shirt. Like she's going to a Neil Diamond concert or something. Just go, "It's the Batman!"
Yeah,
and in this one, he's just like. Shows up, surprise, not wearing a tux.
Also,
it would be funny if he was wearing a little tuxedo.
Yeah, little Batman tuxedo. My other favorite part about this is, you know, the Joker escapes by throwing Rachel out the window, and Batman has to dive out after. That means that he got in the elevator and went back downstairs.
All right, bye.
Yeah, he just left.
We're gonna go.
Like he just left a party that has like all of Gotham's
the most powerful
and wealthy people. Like you tell me he's not gonna kidnap any of them,
it's
or
not
like,
part of the plan.
You know, like
you just acided the commissioner, the police commissioner.
Yeah, he just made him drink acid and detonated that judge.
Funny thing though about her dropping.
Yeah,
you'll know like when she's going down, she's like, "Help!" and her hands are up. Flatten those palms on the glass, bitch. You're gonna slow you'll slow down.
Yeah, you get some traction.
Palms on glass, that's gonna slow shit down. You might even not fall off if you just flatten them out.
Yeah.
She's got them straight up like she's on a water slide. Put those hands down.
Put your arms up. It's more fun.
All right, gang, listen. Here's the deal.
Here's what you do when you fall out of a
If you're ever
building.
Pushed out of a glass building's window
and
you're going down about a 45-degree incline, flatten those palms. Slow it down. You don't know if that vigilante is going to be able to save you. Those precious seconds could be the difference between life and death.
It's true. What's the next scene?
The DNA City Hall. We have the DNA City Hall. The where you going up, and they blow up the judge.
Yeah,
with all the Joker cards in there, and then the commissioner drinking
fucking acid,
which that's fun.
Yeah,
a cool way to kill someone.
How the hell did he do that?
Yeah,
I don't know. Joker's a sorcerer.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got Maroni's guys on the inside. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, we get that. And in their desperation, they turn to someone they don't understand.
I was hunting a bandit in Burma.
Yeah, the Burma story.
Throwing him away. Like, Bruce is... It's actually a good scene. Like, we joke about it a lot because it's fun to do the Michael Caine voice. But it's a well-written speech to explain the Joker, and I like the idea that Bruce legitimately can't conceive of a criminal who doesn't want anything.
It's somebody that can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with.
Yeah.
And then he had the line, by the way, some men just want to watch the world burn, which they're trying to throw all this Harvey knowledge on you, and meanwhile this like small part of just an Alfred expose becomes one of the more important lines.
That gets used jokingly a lot too, but it's like it's way more effective because it's not sweaty, it's not like fake profundity or whatever the word would be. It's just like some people don't want anything. And like Bruce like pushes back. He's like, well, no, he must want something. Like, why would he throw the diamonds away? It's because he doesn't fucking care.
Yeah, he likes the sport of it.
Yeah,
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical.
Yeah. If it's something logical like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, and negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Master way.
I have a problem with another part of this.
This
when
scene,
Batman's listening to the next scene.
This is one of those things what I was talking about earlier, where the editing of this movie makes certain scene transitions confusing.
The "you'll find Harvey Dent there"
Yep.
line. It's bad. It doesn't. This is a bad part of this movie. This is an actually bad part.
Yes,
because do they know that Batman's listening at this time to hear the thing, and then it's this whole.
I don't think so. Like here's what this watching of it, because I didn't notice how jarring this is in previous watches. I just sort of accepted it as like, well, here's where the movie's going now. I assume Joker killed these two people, staged that crime scene with the newspaper announcing the mayor's death, and then called it into the police. And Batman's just monitoring phone calls and police vans.
Did he make a newspaper?
He did.
He made a little arts and crafts
printed it
newspaper.
out and then defaced it.
Yeah.
Like, so he made his own newspaper, which is very fun. I get it.
A lot of time.
Yeah, he's got his little projects.
Ever since movable type.
I have a program that lets you just kind of do it all in there, and you can make your own newspaper.
It's really great. My niece does one every month.
She makes a newsletter about what's going on in her class.
This part, like,
it is jarring that he's just standing there on a rooftop, and then you just, amidst all this cacophony, you hear the Joker's voice saying, "You'll find Harvey Dent there."
I wrote tomorrow's paper equals arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Just having a little arts and crafts time, and we cut. He takes the gun scene is.
Still don't quite understand what the fuck is happening in this. Like, he shoots, he's like, Gordon's like, "You're going to get ballistics from a shattered bullet." He's like, "No, fingerprints." And then he cuts the brick chunk out, and he has a bunch of different bricks.
And he finds the one that matches the
same
correct
kind
entry
of
pattern.
Bullet, so that he can match the entry pattern to match how it shattered, and then recombines it. It's like, why did you need to do that? Like, you clearly have something that's, because like Morgan Freeman's
because you have the tech where you could figure out
right, because when they do it, Morgan Freeman is like, here's the original bullet. They already have it scanned, all the fragments. It's like, can you not? Why did you need the other bullet to recombine it?
I've never thought about that part of it.
And also, why would that scan bring up a thumbprint?
Yeah. Also, you thumbprints are going to be on the casings, not the bullet.
Correct.
I don't know.
Like,
this is probably the worst. This is the worst chunk of the movie. I think
you guys have seen,
minus the ending.
You guys have seen bullets, right? You know that, like, the bullet part isn't what you touch.
Yeah.
It's like the casing that it's in, and then it, like, somehow, like, he just tells Alfred, like, there's four possibles. Like, just look what's near the city squares. Like, I've got a match.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, this is for the funeral part.
Right. So, and the bullet thumbprint leads Bruce to the empty apartment with
it's like a bad King's Quest.
Like what? Yeah. Like, what the? Why? First of all, like, it leads like so the guy's thumbprint is like the thumbprint of a guy that, like, rents that apartment, but it's like empty and full of abducted SWAT officers.
And another name for mystery is Enigma.
It's like
so, but that's
it's dumb.
It's that.
Like, why would the
level of progress in thinking? It's that level of it's practically the Riddler scene.
Yeah,
it's just a Nolan-verse version of the Riddler scene, figuring out where he's gonna.
I mean, of the hundreds of crazy people that the Joker corrals to be henchmen, what are the odds that the person who loaded the bullet that was fired into the wall of that murder scene would be the guy that rents the apartment where they set up a fake rifle?
Well, I think that bullet is shot in there on purpose.
But why?
To bring him to the next spot. That's why there's the timer and the thing. I'm not saying it makes sense.
Like, they know where because he left the newspaper saying, "I'm going to kill the mayor." Like, they know where the
from which room am I going to kill the mayor?
Yeah.
He wants to get Batman shot when the window goes open.
Yeah, that's true.
But he doesn't want Batman to get shot, but he does. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. Loeb's funeral. Gordon's fake death has zero reasoning.
It's baffling.
There's no reason to do the fake death.
Also, fake Bullock is really selling it. Because he's the one that comes up to Gordon after he gets shot, and he's like, oh no, he's dead. And then in subsequent scenes, like, when they put up the bat signals, like, he doesn't want to talk to us. Like, so he's in on it. Like, he has to be.
I mean, I think they're maybe trying to make Wirtz and Ramirez not figure out who, like, the only thing that makes sense is there are people in your outfit, so you have to pretend that you're dead.
It's baffling.
But it doesn't make sense. The whole thing doesn't make sense. And it's going to lead into our opening of next week, which...
Yeah, the scene we do get a cool... It's like a split second Joker without his makeup.
Yeah.
And that's neat. Yeah.
Because he's still got the scars.
Yeah.
They're not makeup.
He's just disguised as one of the police honor guards and fucking shoots at the mayor with his rifle.
There's like a weird scene where Eric Roberts hangs out in a loud techno club with who I'm guessing is his Gumar. And I'm really happy because I think it's clearly a woman that he's sleeping. I don't think it's his wife. I don't think he would go.
No, it's some girlfriend.
But he's like super progressive because she's like 40.
They cast somebody that was
an age-appropriate Gumar
of age with. I mean, she's clearly younger than him, but not like staggeringly. So
they're all in their 20s in like The Sopranos and shit like that. So like the fact that they had an age-appropriate mistress, I just thought that was really interesting. I'm like, oh, his mistress. I like that.
I kind of love Eric Roberts in this movie. I love how like sort of resigned he is to like he knows like I'm a big mob boss, and he just sort of like like when Gordon comes to arrest him, he's like, sure you want to embarrass me in front of all my friends?
He's cocky and it always fails.
Yeah,
but he's
the
other part.
Yeah, but like when Batman shows up, like in the techno club, he's beating the shit out of his guys, and Eric Roberts is kind of looking at him like, all right. He just kind of waves the rest of his guys over because he knows what's going to happen. Like,
I'm going to break my leg.
Well, not that specifically, but like he knows Batman is going to mow through his goons.
It's funny because he does come off as cocky and it consistently fails.
Yes. He always, every single scene, he is thwarted. He's constantly
he's a
thwarted.
Fucking punching bag.
Yeah, he really is.
We get the Harvey
abduction where he kidnaps the guy.
Well, we got the abduction. Yeah, the kind of mind that the Joker attracts. But the briefing that he gives to everybody, the press meeting. Why is my brain so bad at
press conference?
The conference, right? And then there's the best are the people that are shouting,
"No more dead cops!
Things are worse than ever."
Yeah,
no more dead cops. It's like, where'd you get these?
Who are these people? And then Bruce Wayne is just casually there.
And then he does "The night is always darkest before the dawn," which everybody in that crowd should have been like, what?
Yeah, everyone should have been like, what the hell are you talking about? That is not accurate.
No, it is not. That's not how night works.
No.
And then he does says, "I am the Batman" to everybody. And isn't a whole part of the previous scene with Harvey where he's like, if you fuck up, every good thing you've done has been thrown in the toilet. And then he says, "I'm the Batman," which does that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how all the people they got on the RICO trial weren't immediately released after he says, "I'm the Batman."
Right, because it would have meant that he went out there and beat the shit out of all of them and arrested them.
That's a huge Daredevil thing.
Yeah.
Where he can't say that he's Daredevil if people find out. Everybody that Matt Murdock has ever been a part with has been a part of. It's like it's all wrong. It's all whatever. And that's the same thing with this. You can't say you're the Batman after prosecuting a bunch of people that Batman beats the shit out of all the time.
That's true.
You can't do that, even if you're fucking around. You can't fucking do that. Harvey, Batman just told you you're very important. Don't fuck this up, or everything would be undone. 520 criminals.
That's a lot.
500. He's like 520 criminals are going to get let loose if you fuck this up. And the first fucking thing he does is pretend to be Batman. And fuck it up.
He also says, "I am the Batman."
Yeah. Which, come on, man, it's
has anybody really been calling him the Batman?
Yeah.
Nobody.
It's the Batman. And then we have the coin flip. Take my coin. The end.
The end of this episode.
The end of this episode. This is right where it cuts. Almost directly in the middle, too.
It's almost right at the midpoint, yeah.
Up to chapter 19. Oh, we probably should have said that. We were covering chapters 1 through 19.
1 through 19 of the...
Chapter 19 being, quote, I am the Batman.
I am the Batman.
Also, I think I still have my digital code for this. If there's somebody that somehow doesn't have access...
I think it's expired by now.
Do they expire?
They say that they do.
I might have it. Shoot me a message on Twitter, and I'll share the first person that sends me.
I redeemed mine, baby.
I'll give you my redemption code. If it's still good, it's still good. If not,
you guys can have a free copy of The Dark Knight.
Whatever.
Yeah. Possibly.
But if you need it, it's fine. I have one. So there we go. That's the end.
That's the end of the first part.
And next week we're gonna start with a real shit show of a scene.
The second half of this movie is wild.
Yeah, if the first half is like the pacing is weird, the second half is just breakneck pacing.
Yeah.
And then it slows down painfully.
Yes.
All right. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
Find us on shit.
Find us on Twitter if you want to support the show, and this is a free one. So if you want to get access to the rest of the show, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. And with $5, you can get this and every other exclusive show we ever do.
If you're in LA, come see our shows. We're at the Clubhouse tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Thursday
this
night.
Is going to come out Wednesday, so Thursday
Vermont.
night.
We're doing taped sets. It's going to be really great. A lot of awesome comics. Support live comedy. Adopt shelter pets. Pay money to the Hero Initiative. Everyone have a good time.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Bye, Betty.
Have a nice trip. See you next fall.
Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at Justin T. Brown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.